Today we're doing kind of a demo black belt test. Most of you guys already know that. I already got my black belt, but I didn't get to do a test. But I've been practicing for it for 6 years, ever since I was a newbie for one of these. So I just wanted to kind of show everyone what the expectation is to get a black belt. Okay? So Professor Seal is going to be giving administering the test, so he can kind of explain it and go from there.
Yeah, why don't you start off by just going over some basic self-defense, starting with at least just some base standing up, and then you choose to start with something of self-defense, defending yourself from an attacker.
Okay, so stand up and base. Okay, so someone knocked us down. We need to stand up. Okay, Corey, can I use you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he pushed me down, I fell down. I need to be able to get up in a way that I don't expose my head. Okay, so if I stand up like this, I lose my head. Okay, so first off, if he gets too close, get him away from you. Here, and the way I'm going to stand up is I'm going to lift my leg and swing it behind me, but never let my head go forward. That way I can stand up and still mitigate the distance, and it's a lot harder for him to take my head off while I'm standing up.
Let's go over. I'd like you to go over some self-defense. Just demonstrate some basic things, such as a lapel grab, a bear hug from the front, bear hug from the back.
Okay, bear hug from the front. Doesn't matter. Okay, they grab underneath. 2 hands, frame on their head. Create distance, make them break their grip. If they go over, you don't want them to suck you in and pick you up. So, hands on the hips, extend. If it breaks their grip, great. If their grip doesn't break, you're going to go into a judo throw. You create that separation, and then you can toss them.
Now go ahead and do a bear hug from the back.
Okay, bear hug from the back. Drop my base, make me low. Palms on right where his thumb is, the top thumb. I'm just going to bring my elbows in and extend to break the grip. Spin, get away from the attacker.
And what if someone does a bear hug from the back and tries to pick you up?
Okay, easiest thing is whichever leg is kind of in front holding you up, you're going to wrap it around the outside. So go ahead and lift. You connect yourself to their leg and straighten your leg. So, Corey, go ahead and pick me up and walk off with me. This is what we're trying to avoid. So to stop that, okay, same thing, Corey. Now it's really hard for him to lift both of us up at the same time. So just outside in, don't go inside out. Outside in, make sure your laces are on the inside, and then you just extend.
And then what would you do once they get tired and they put you back down?
Okay, so he lifts me up. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I add extra momentum. I feel he's getting tired, so he picks me up, he's getting tired. I pike up, throw down, grab the heel, sit into the knee.
Okay, so from the front side, Corey, I'd like you to attack Tarl with just a straight-on Hollywood choke.
Okay.
What's another defense you could do from there? What's a judo throw you could do from there? Let's go over. So I would like you to go over just basics. This is for. So how would you teach some basics of wrist grabbing, where someone's trying to pull you to either their car or push you either way? But how would you teach it for a woman who's much smaller than her opponent?
Okay, awesome. First things first, someone tries pulling you. You can't let your head go over your feet, because then they start dragging you. You don't have any balance or strength. Second, someone grabs you, get your base, get strong back, okay? And it's better, you don't want to be facing straight on, because then your base is only as wide as your foot. So you go sideways, bend at your knees, drop your butt low, and good solid base, and strong back. If he's strong enough, and if it's a women's self-defense class where they're a lot smaller, there's a good chance this big strong guy, 100 pounds heavier than, is going to pull their head over and they're still going to lose their base. This makes it harder. They pull. I'm going to shift my base and get away. Okay, so go ahead and pull hard. Okay, you actually have to like hold me. Yeah, sure. Okay, so you're making it as difficult as possible. You're getting your base as soon as, it's called shifting base. So my head goes over, I re-shift my legs and get my head back and brace. If he pulls me over again, okay, just make him work for every step. As soon as I can create enough slack, elbow over the top, break the grip, get out.
How would you do that if someone is trying to shove you towards the car?
Okay, so if he's shoving me, I turn sideways. If he's shoving me, get my base. If he's strong and big, shift your base. You try to make the outside of your body completely straight, like you brace like something up with the board. Just if you're in self-defense, someone getting attacked and you don't know the attacker, they're usually looking for an easy target. You make yourself as difficult as possible. And a lot of times they'll give up. That's the idea.
You go up there, Kyle, because you just told me. How would you teach a woman to defend herself if somebody surprises her from behind, just does a standard grabs you around the neck? How would you teach that class?
Okay. Yeah, so if they grab me behind the back and I realize at first, guys, if there's ever a choke from the rear, from the back, make sloth grips, one at the elbow, one at the wrist, and elbows down. Don't ever pull like this, that's weak mechanically. You're engaging your lat muscles. At the same time as you get your grips in, I'm dropping my weight lower, going into base. Okay, so if he's taller than me and I realize before it's locked up, hey, I defend it, then I'm gonna go into judo throw. So my butt is low, my legs are bent, then I'm gonna load him up, then I'm gonna twist towards the choking arm. So full speed. So that's if you catch it and you're able to get your base. The other thing that could happen is he starts pulling. And I can't get my base anymore. So, here, let's go that way real quick. So I always get this, but if I can't get my base, I'm gonna take this leg on the outside by his choking arm. I'm gonna stretch it back as far as I can. I'm gonna do a big 3/4 turn while I keep his arm locked on my upper chest. Okay, so if you do it full speed, he's pulling me back. So I step, do my 3/4 turn, I keep his arm stuck to me, I just pull, kind of start running that direction, he'll fall down.
Can we go over? If we can have a different like, can we usually something small? It's usually small. Same size person's gonna do this. Go over a headlock defense. First, when someone is putting a headlock on you and trying to punch you, and then second, just a bully doing a headlock.
Okay, so he goes for the headlock. If I catch it and he's going for a punch, I'm gonna take my back, I'm gonna use both my hands and stop it. So if he's pulling my head in, going for a punch, block, don't ever try to catch the fist. We're blocking here. Now we can go into our tee-off position attacks. A lot of them are just a trip. If he's coming down like this, I can also, before he even throws a punch, chest up, good base, good posture, connect this to my upper chest shoulder, drop my body down, come up from behind, get out that way. If he fully pulls me over and locks his hands, so I should do it, like hard. Okay, cup under here, and I'm gonna do Tani Itoshi. Take it out. Just cup the back of the knee, grab their hip and drop.
Okay. I'd like you to go over a punching defense. Someone throws a haymaker and explain the T position. And I'd like you to explain just 3 different options you can go from the T position when you tee off.
Okay, so haymaker punch is the most common attack, especially if the guy's bigger and it's a guy versus a guy. So second I see him winding up and he's within this distance, I need to close this. If I'm way out here, he's gonna miss, it's not a big deal. This is the most dangerous spot for a grappler because he can punch and kick, and that's not my specialty. And anyone has a puncher's chance. So I see him winding up, I'm gonna block, not like this, I'm cupping back of my head, and then I bring my forearm here, so it's defending my jaw and my temple. Jaw and the temple are the 2 most vulnerable parts of someone's head. So he goes in, I'm gonna block, elbows hit his chest, and then I'm gonna dive under, get an underhook. Now he's gonna throw a punch, so I'm ready for that, and I block. And then as he comes back to throw it again, I'm gonna lock it in like this. And I want my belly button right up against his side of his hip. Our feet are making a T position, that's why it's called the T position. If he starts to run away from me and try to get away, I'm gonna do that hook and drive him forward. Just make sure, especially in self-defense situations, you hook, break, let your weight kind of sag them forward, and as soon as their balance breaks, you let go so you're not landing with your knee on cement. The other options, so he goes and throws, close the distance, I get here, okay? If he tries to square up with me, then I'm just gonna go right into a hip throw. Third one. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. Okay, so he goes and throws the punch. Close the distance, I get here. If I can get my head under, now I'm behind him, I can do all kinds of stuff. Easiest one is Tani Atoshi, where I roll on top after he pulls.
Okay, let's just go real quick.
Oh, sorry, one other one that's less effort. Throw a punch, get here. If he just kind of hangs out here, I'm just gonna get on my toes, bump the back of his knee, and push him backwards with my ear. So my ear goes that way to my side, but because we're teed up, he's going backwards. That one's probably better just because then I'm still standing.
You go over the self-defense position of defending not a headlock, but a guillotine.
Yeah, okay, so.
Let's do head guillotine first, and then arm and head guillotines.
Okay, couple of defenses for a regular guillotine. If he's here, one hand's gonna defend the wrist, and again, I'm always using my lat muscles, right? Next, I release pressure by bringing my opposite hand above his opposite shoulder and putting pressure down to survive. And he's gonna try lifting up and trying to finish you. Usually, they last 6 to 8 seconds, so of effort, and as soon as you feel that they kind of breathe out, then so he's pulling. As soon as he loosens up, go off to the side and do that same move where I'm gonna bump his knee. Just toes up, bump the knee and drive with my head. Use him as a body cushion. Then if he still holds on, you got options. Tap him there, or you rotate around to an arm bar. The other option for guillotines, a standing guillotine, if it's like, I'm just going to move my head towards the center. If I can get here, I'm out. All right, so he's here. If I can get my head to the center instead of the outside, that's another viable way out. So those are head only guillotines. If he has an arm in, I can no longer put my hand up on his shoulder, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Make sure he doesn't jump guard, guys. This applies to the other move too. If you're here, this is good. This is also good. If you think they're gonna jump guard, you kind of brace here and wait. If it's arm in, okay, make sure they don't jump guard. Guys, don't do this. A knees can break your thumb. Go like this. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hand that's inside. I'm gonna do a big step with the same side hand that's caught. We're gonna step through and posture up as we step through. Right here, we step through and then we're gonna pivot on the hand that we just stepped through. Get behind them. And get out.
What I'd like to go over now is I'd like you to go over some self-defense for a woman, and I would like you to explain it. If someone were to walk into class, female, and she wants to know self-defense, and I want you to explain to her why we use guard.
Okay, yeah, so initially, the guard position looks pretty bad, right? But what we need to remember is the most important part of our body, what makes us who we are, is our heads. So the most vital thing is avoid any strikes to the head or chokes. So let's say I use my legs, my stronger parts of my body, to fight against someone who's bigger and stronger than me. So for example, if he tries to choke me from here like a rape choke, if it's a kid's class, you call it a Hollywood choke, not a rape choke. Okay? Your hands go to defend, but then we stretch ourselves out. So see how the back of my knees are on his hips? I stretch. If I'm way too short, like if he was 1.5 taller than me, then I'm just going to kind of scoot and then bring my knees in. And now, even if he has longer arms, I'm just turn myself into a board. He can't reach my neck. He can't punch my head. Okay, so that's why we use guard, is to use our stronger part of our body to defend ourselves and protect the most vital part of our body.
Go over defending yourself from someone who's punching you.
Okay.
Same position.
So, 2 main punches from here. One's going to be a haymaker. If he throws a haymaker, you're going to shield, right? You don't want to take it full force. So, the second I see someone wind up, I pull my knee in and then bring my elbow to my knee and I turn away from the punch. Okay? So, most of the blow should be locked with my knee on the bicep. So, he comes in, I'm here. Now I'm going to wrap up. Now, if I'm here, what's he going to do? Throw the other arm. So I do the same block on the other side. I get here. Now I'm going to slide my sloth or hook grips down to the wrist, feet on the hips. I'm going to push my shins out into his elbows and lift my hips. Now he's slowed down. And if they're here, especially if they try to get away by posturing away from me, turn them into a Pez dispenser. Okay, if you don't want to do that, the other option is going to a triangle choke. So that's haymaker defense. The other option is if they just do a straight punch. If it's a straight punch, you want to move your head off of center. Because if it's straight, I'm not going to be able to get my knee on the inside to do the first one. So if I realize I can't get my knee inside, it's a straight punch. Direct it off the center, and then move my head off too. Okay, so he does that again. I'm here, then I do a crunch. Now I'm in a head and arm choke position. But if you're smaller, there's a decent chance you won't be able to finish anyways, unless you've trained a lot. But what we're going to do is we're now going to roll him that way. I'm going to drop this leg, and then the other leg goes high, and roll him down. And that's an easier move to hit if you're smaller than actually finishing from there with less practice. So those are the punch defenses from guard. Use your legs to block their attacks.
Okay, last thing to cover on some ground self-defense. Will you explain how to get out of a head on the ground?
On the ground? Okay. Nope, headlock. Okay, so first thing, can't be flat back. If I'm flat back, I'm in trouble. Go ahead and lock your hands. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this shoulder up as high. I'm trying to get on my side, on my edge, so I can breathe. Because if he's heavier than me, oh yeah, it's hard to breathe. Okay, so if you get on your side, your rib cage is stronger. So this hand is going to push up, and at the same time, this shoulder is going to pull back. I want my elbow on the mat. Okay? Now I can breathe better. The hand behind frames against the net. Guys, don't use the soft part. You're using the hard part, the bone part. Then I'm going to make a C grip and just create a frame right here. Now, if he tries to push into me and be really tough and hard, okay, go ahead and try. Oh, there's a lot of weight. Keep going. I'm pushing against it. Reverse it. That's one. If you can get, so you push up the shoulder as much as you can, then you pull this one back, get your frame, make sure they're not smashing your face. And then this foot is kickstand, and I'm pushing and trying to get a response back. Now, if they don't give a response back, that's okay. So here, if possible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrimp out. I can shrimp twice if I need to. So on shrimp, you're just pushing your butt behind you by using your legs. Now I'm going to shove with my frame, catch his head with the back of my knee, kick, and come up. Do you want more?
Can you please go over escaping from mount, both in the self-defense position of punching, and then I'd like you to do one from someone attacking. You may choose whatever it's.
Okay, so he takes mounts. There's a bunch of them. First one's just regular mounts. Get the prayer position, get your knees or elbows inside his knees. I'm gonna bridge, get his hands on the mat, inside out, elbow over his elbow, claps it down, trap his other post with the ankles. This hand goes on the bicep, and I'm gonna oopa and roll up to the knees. Okay, then he can also punch or he can choke. Okay, if he's choking, you're here, release some of the pressure, trap the post of the ankle, and bridge him right over. Just trap and roll escape. You can also do it with punching. If he wants to punch. The second you feel him winding up, bridge. Okay? Now, if his weight's way over there, he can go out the back door. If he leaves it there, usually they don't leave their weight there. In which case, he goes, get here, grab, and roll over. So that's the trap and roll to escape attackers, whether it's jiu-jitsu or self-defense.